When the world flips upside down, you don't get a warning shot. One minute you're scrolling your phone, the next, it's dead silent. No power, no internet, no food trucks rolling in, just you, your shelves, and whatever you stocked before everything went sideways. Here's the truth. Fresh food dies quick. Frozen food? Say goodbye once the grid crashes, but cans don't care, they don't spoil, they don't whine, they wait patiently for the moment they're needed most. This isn't about hoarding junk or playing pretend, it's about building a pantry that works in real disasters, not just YouTube thumbnails. These 11 canned foods are survival gold, calorie-dense, nutrient-rich, built to last, and ready to fuel you through blackouts, breakdowns, and bug-ins. We're talking zero prep, zero waste, and years of peace of mind packed in metal. No fluff, no filler, just the real deal items that seasoned preppers actually trust. Stick around. Number 7 is a silent legend that saved more lives than most people realize. Let's dive in. Number 1, canned salmon, not tuna. Salmon. Tuna might be the usual prepper go-to, but canned salmon? That's next level. This isn't just some boring meat in a tin. It's protein-rich, packed with omega-3s, and comes with a surprising bonus: edible soft bones that deliver a solid calcium boost. When you're living off-grid or facing down a long-term crisis, every nutrient counts. And salmon pulls ahead of tuna in the survival nutrition race, especially if it's wild-caught. Wild-caught varieties bring in more clean fats and vitamins, making this feel like a luxury item disguised as a pantry staple. You can eat it straight out of the can. No heating, no fuss, or mix it into rice, make quick fish cakes, or roll it into a wrap with a dab of hot sauce if you're lucky. It's light on prep, but heavy on satisfaction. And in a long-term emergency, that's priceless. Storage-wise, salmon cans hold up for 3 to 5 years without breaking a sweat. Sometimes longer if you keep them in a cool, dry spot. Just rotate them every so often, and you're golden. Now here's the kicker. What used to be a cheap protein is getting pricey, fast. A decent can of wild-caught runs anywhere from $3 to $6, and prices have been quietly creeping up over the past couple of years. With more people waking up to its health benefits and supply chains tightening around wild seafood, expect this one to keep climbing. If you want a survival food that doubles as both fuel and morale boost, stock this now while it's still within reach. This isn't just canned meat. This is survival-grade sustenance with a touch of class. And when SHTF, that makes all the difference. Number 2, canned pumpkin puree. You thought this was just for Thanksgiving pie? Think again. Canned pumpkin puree is one of the most underrated survival foods out there, and it deserves a permanent spot on your shelf. It's packed with vitamin A, potassium, and gut-friendly fiber, and it's so gentle on the stomach that you can eat it straight with a spoon if things get rough. In a crisis, when digestion goes haywire and nutrients are scarce, pumpkin comes through like a champ. The real magic? It's insanely versatile. Stir it into oatmeal for a nutrition boost, blend it into soups to stretch your stash, or even bake with it if you've still got the means. This stuff is filling, nourishing, and oddly comforting. Exactly the kind of morale food you'll need when the lights go out and options get limited. Storage is dead simple. Just keep those cans in a cool, dry place. Unopened pumpkin puree lasts 2 to 5 years easily, more if you've got it in number 10 cans or long-term sealed pouches. No fridge, no freezer, no babysitting. And here's where it gets serious. A single 15 Oz can still runs around $1.50 to $2, but that's changing fast. With pumpkin crops hit hard by weather and demand rising during every crisis cycle, prices jumped 12% last year. And it's only going up. Once people realize this isn't just for desserts, the shelves will empty fast. Oh, and if you think this is a weird pick, wait till you see number 3. It's survival food in disguise, and most people overlook it completely. Number 3, canned coconut milk. Now this one, it's criminally underrated. Canned coconut milk isn't just for curries. It's a high-fat, high-function survival food that pulls serious weight when the grid goes down. In a world where shelf-stable fats are hard to come by, this stuff becomes liquid gold. One can pack a hefty caloric punch, delivering energy-dense fats that your body will be begging for when fresh food disappears. You can cook with it, sure. Think stews, rice, even pancakes if you're lucky, but here's the kicker. You can drink it straight if you need to. It offers fast, satisfying calories when your body's running on fumes, and the natural electrolytes in coconut can give a hydration edge in hot climates or dehydration scenarios. It's creamy, comforting, and filling. And yes, it doubles as a morale booster when everything else tastes like cardboard. Storage-wise, it's low maintenance. Keep the cans cool and dry, and you're looking at a shelf life of 2 to 5 years unopened. Go for full-fat versions, not the watered-down light ones. Those just don't hit the same when you're counting every calorie. Right now, a can goes for 2 to 3 E's, but don't let that lull you. As coconut imports fluctuate and plant-based diets drive demand, expect prices to creep up fast. Some brands already saw a 10% hike this year, and if you think coconut milk is clever, just wait till you see what's coming into 4. It's brain food disguised as a pantry staple. Number 4, canned sardines in olive oil. Tiny fish. Massive payoff. Canned sardines in olive oil might not win any beauty contests, but when it comes to survival nutrition, they're absolute royalty. Each can is loaded with clean protein, omega-3 fatty acids, healthy fats, and even calcium, thanks to the edible bones that are soft and digestible. One small tin can fuel you for hours, and in a crisis, that's a game changer. These aren't your average dry pantry fillers. The olive oil not only preserves the fish longer, often giving them a shelf life of 3 to 5 years, sometimes more, but it also adds crucial calories and fat. In a grid-down scenario, when fresh food is gone and energy needs spike, this combo of protein and fat is survival fuel, plain and simple. Another plus? No cooking required. Just pop the lid and eat them straight, mash them into rice, or spread them on crackers. They're compact, lightweight, and packed with micronutrients like vitamin D and selenium, making them a true superfood for preppers. And price-wise, still one of the best bangs for your buck, around $1.50 to $3 per can, depending on quality and origin. But here's your warning shot. With rising interest in Mediterranean diets and sustainable protein sources, sardine prices have quietly crept up nearly 12% over the past year. Bottom line, these little fish aren't just a smart stash, they're an elite prep. And next, we're going from sea to survival dairy. You'll never believe what you can do with powdered cheese. Number 5, canned beets. Stay with me here. I know what you're thinking. Beets? Really? But trust me, these weird purple roots earn their place in every prepper pantry. Why? Because when things get rough, you're going to want every edge you can get. And canned beets quietly deliver. They're loaded with nitrates that boost blood flow, which means more oxygen getting to your brain and muscles. Hello, energy, and endurance. That's huge when you're under pressure, running low on sleep, or just trying to survive in the cold. Beets also support heart health, help lower blood pressure, and aid in detox, making them a powerhouse for long-term resilience. And unlike raw ones, canned beets require zero prep. No peeling, no roasting, just open, rinse if you want, and they're ready to eat. Throw them in rice, mix with vinegar, or just eat them plain. Sweet, earthy, and honestly underrated in a world of salty survival foods. Storage tip? Keep them in a cool, dark spot, and they'll last up to 5 years sealed. That's a whole lot of nutrition packed into a cheap little can. Speaking of cheap, you can still grab these for under $1.25 per can, but don't sleep on them. Demand's rising, especially with more people catching on to their endurance-boosting perks. Expect price hikes as beet supplements continue trending in the fitness world. Up next, we're heading straight into survival comfort food territory. It's a pantry item so satisfying, you might forget you're in a crisis. Number 6, evaporated goat milk. Now here's a curveball you didn't see coming. Evaporated goat milk. It might not be the first thing that pops into your head when you're building a survival pantry, but once you understand what it brings to the table, you'll want to stockpile it by the case. Goat milk is naturally easier to digest than cow's milk, making it a lifesaver for people with sensitive guts, kids, elderly, or anyone with lactose issues. It's rich in calcium, potassium, and essential fats, giving you a gentle but powerful nutritional boost when your body is already under stress. Plus, it's not just a drink. It's fuel, it's protein, it's even a cooking base when you're making porridge, bread, or just trying to stretch a meal. And the evaporated version? That's where the magic happens. It's shelf-stable for years. Sealed cans will last up to 5+ years without refrigeration. It comes concentrated, so just add water to rehydrate it or use it straight for richer flavor and creaminess. Perfect when fresh dairy is completely off the table. Here's the kicker. A single can costs around $2.50 to $3.50, but it covers multiple servings and replaces fresh milk entirely. And with more people catching on to the health benefits of goat dairy, prices are already creeping up, about 12% increase in the last year alone. This one's a quiet hero, but don't underestimate it. Because the next item, It's all about comfort, carbs, and a crazy long shelf life. Number 7, canned Blackstrap molasses. This one right here, criminally underrated. Canned Blackstrap molasses isn't just some sticky old syrup your grandma used to bake gingerbread cookies. It's a nutrient bomb in disguise. 1 tablespoon packs a powerful punch of iron, magnesium, potassium, calcium, and even a dash of vitamin B6. Exactly the kind of mineral blend your body screams for when you're running low on energy, freezing your tail off, and trying to survive on shelf-stable carbs. Most sweeteners just spike your blood sugar and leave you crashing. This one, it fuels you slow, steady, and smart. In a survival situation, energy and morale go hand in hand, and Blackstrap molasses brings both. Add it to oatmeal, stir it into tea, mix it into powdered milk or flatbread dough, and suddenly that bland, repetitive prepper diet gets a dark, rich, slightly smoky edge that feels comforting. And if you're dealing with iron deficiency, which is common, especially for women and kids during long-term emergencies, this stuff is a natural, absorbable source your body can actually use. No pills, no side effects, no drama, just real nutrients straight from the can. Plus, it keeps your digestion moving, which matters more than anyone wants to admit once you've been living on rice and crackers for days. As for storage, molasses is a survivalist's dream. Keep it sealed and stashed in a cool, dark spot, and it'll last years. It might thicken or crystallize a bit over time, but that's no big deal. Just stir it or warm it gently, and it's back in action. Because it's so dense and rich, you don't need much to get the benefits. A single can or jar can stretch out for weeks or even months, depending on how you're using it. Now for the price, expect to pay around $5 to $7 per jar, depending on the brand, size, and whether you're going organic. But here's the thing. Demand is creeping up fast. More plant-based preppers are turning to molasses as a clean mineral source, and health-conscious buyers are finally realizing it's not just old-school sweetener, it's functional, therapeutic, and shelf-stable. That price? It's going nowhere but up. So don't brush this off as just another syrup. Blackstrap molasses is energy, nutrients, and comfort in one spoonful. It belongs in your prepper stash just as much as beans, rice, and canned protein. And if you thought this one was powerful, wait till you see what we've got next. It's lean, it's creamy, and it lasts for years. Number 8, canned green jackfruit in brine. Here's one most preppers are seriously sleeping on. Canned green jackfruit. If you've never had it, get ready to meet the chameleon of survival foods. On its own, it barely tastes like anything. And that's exactly the point. It's a blank canvas, a texture-heavy meat alternative that soaks up seasoning like it was built for the job. Once you add your spices, sauces, or canned marinades, this stuff transforms into something that feels like pulled pork, shredded chicken, or slow-cooked BBQ, without any of the meat. When your freezer's empty and protein options are running low, that's a big deal. Vegan communities have been all over this for years, but preppers, most haven't caught on yet, and that's a mistake. Canned green jackfruit brings something most survival stashes are missing: texture. It's low in calories, but high in fiber and satiety, which means it fills you up without draining your more valuable protein reserves. And let's not ignore the mental side of things. After weeks of eating soupy beans and soft carbs, biting into something meaty, chewy, and flavorful can feel like a full-on feast. Morale isn't just about calories, it's about variety, comfort, and keeping mealtime from turning into a chore. And let's talk flexibility. You can rinse it, shred it, season it, and toss it into tacos. Want a stew or curry? Jackfruit fits. Craving BBQ sandwiches? Slap on some canned sauce and you've got a Southern-style meal that feels fresh off the grill. It's one of the few non-protein items that feels like protein, and that illusion matters more than you'd think during extended crises. As for storage, jackfruit is usually canned in brine and holds up well, typically shelf-stable for 2 to 5 years, depending on the brand and how you store it. Keep it in a cool, dark place away from moisture and direct sunlight, and you'll be pulling out usable jackfruit long after fresh options are gone. When it's time to use it, just drain it, rinse it, give it a good squeeze to get the brine out, and then season it up like you would any other meat. That's it. No complicated prep, no soaking, no fuss. Now let's talk cost. Right now, you can still grab cans for around $2 to $3 depending on size and source, but here's the kicker. That price isn't going to hold forever. More people are moving toward plant-based prepping, and jackfruit is slowly vanishing from the bargain bins and ethnic markets and making its way into trendy survival kits. In some areas, shelves that once held piles of cheap jackfruit are now wiped clean. Get in before the wave hits. In short, canned jackfruit is your fake meat fallback, the satisfying, flexible, morale-boosting staple you'll wish you had more of once things go sideways. And if you think this one's clever, wait till you see the MVPs coming up next. Number 9, canned hummus. Yep, hummus in a can is a thing. And if you haven't stocked up yet, you're missing one of the smartest no-prep survival foods out there. We're talking complete plant-based protein, heart-healthy fats, and slow-burning carbs, all blended together into a creamy, ready-to-eat powerhouse. No stove, no fuel, no fire. Just pop the can and you're eating within seconds. When you need real food without any fuss, canned hummus delivers. At its core, it's made from chickpeas and tahini, that's ground sesame seeds in case you're wondering, blended with olive oil, garlic, lemon juice, and spices, and that simple combo pulls a lot of weight nutritionally. You're getting a solid dose of protein to keep your muscles and immune system strong, iron to help oxygen move through your blood, fiber to keep your digestion in check, and good fats that keep your brain sharp and your energy levels stable. And here's the kicker. It's actually filling. This isn't just a snack, it's a meal in a can that actually satisfies. In a survival scenario, that satiety matters more than you'd think. Bottom line, most people overlook canned greens when prepping, thinking they'll just figure it out with pills or powders. Big mistake. When fresh greens vanish and multivitamins are long gone, this humble can might be the most important thing in your stash. Don't skip it. Stock up, rotate smart, and get ready. Because next up, we're diving into a survival protein that's 100% plant-based, shelf-stable, and shockingly powerful. 10. Canned sweet corn with peppers. Don't sleep on this one. It's more than just yellow kernels in a can. Canned sweet corn with peppers is survival food with flavor, and flavor matters. When you're deep into your stockpile, day after day, eating just to keep going, that extra kick can make all the difference between just surviving and actually coping. What makes this combo special is the balance it brings. You're getting fast energy from the corn, natural sugars and healthy carbs that your body can burn quickly, especially when you're under physical stress. But the real secret weapon is the peppers. Whether it's green chilies, red bell peppers, or even jalapenos in some versions, that added spice doesn't just make it taste better. It lifts your mood, sharpens your appetite, and gives your meals a much-needed variety. You'd be amazed what a little heat and color can do for morale when everything else is bland, beige, and boring. And this stuff is versatile. You can eat it straight from the can if you have to. No stove, no power, no problem. But throw it into a pot of beans or rice or mix it with canned chicken, and suddenly you've got something that feels like a real meal. It brightens up stews, soups, casseroles, and even pairs surprisingly well with eggs if you're working with powdered or shelf-stable options. The texture, the crunch, the pop of sweetness, it brings balance to the table, even if that table is just a log in the woods. Storage-wise, it's a no-brainer. These cans typically last 2 to 3 years officially, but if you store them right, cool, dark, and dry, they can go far beyond that. Just check the seal, look for rust, and avoid any swelling, and you're good. Lots of experienced preppers swear by these for their reliability, flavor, and long shelf life. Price-wise, they're still one of the affordable options out there, ranging from $1 to $1.75 depending on the brand and where you buy. But here's the thing. Corn is volatile. One bad season, one hiccup in shipping, and prices spike fast. We've already seen sharp increases thanks to droughts and rising fuel costs, and it's not slowing down. What's cheap now might not be next month, and definitely won't be when everyone starts panic buying. So, yeah, this one's humble but powerful. It's not just about nutrition, it's about energy, variety, and keeping your sanity intact when options are limited. Get it while it's still easy to find, and stick around, because next up is something that tastes like dessert, but fuels you like a champ. 11. Canned escarole or collard greens. Leafy greens that sit on your shelf for years and still pack a nutritional punch? Yep, it's real, and it's one of the smartest adds to any prepper pantry. Canned escarole or collard greens are criminally underrated, and let's be honest, most folks don't even think of them until the lettuce wilts and spinach disappears. But in a long-term survival scenario, these cans could be gold. When the fresh produce is gone, and trust me, it will be,
You'll be patting yourself on the back for grabbing these. Why? Because these dark, leafy veggies are loaded with survival-grade nutrients. Vitamin K for blood clotting and bone strength, iron for energy and immune health, calcium to keep your muscles and nerves in check, and fiber to keep your gut running smooth, even when your diet gets a little rough around the edges. But here's the kicker. They're not just healthy, they're hearty. These greens actually taste good. Warm them up with some garlic, onion powder, powdered butter, or hot sauce, and you've got a comfort dish that reminds you of home. Toss them into stews, stretch your soup, or eat them straight out of the can if you're in a pinch. They're satisfying, flavorful, and way more filling than most people expect. They're also versatile in survival cooking. No refrigeration? No problem. They hold up. No fuel for fancy cooking? Eat them cold. Short on ingredients? They pair with anything. Rice, beans, canned meats, you name it. And unlike freeze-dried greens, these come fully cooked and ready to eat. No water or rehydration necessary. Storage tip. These cans usually stay good for 3 to 5 years, but if stored properly in a cool, dry place, away from direct heat and light, many preppers say they've eaten them 7 to 10 years past the printed date with zero issues. Just check the seal. No bulging, no rust. You're good to go. Price punchline. Still budget-friendly for now, around $1 to $1.25 a can. But here's the catch. Leafy greens have quietly gone up 10 to 15% in just the past year. Climate hits, labor shortages, and rising diesel costs are all adding pressure to farming. Translation, this cheap food won't stay cheap for long. You won't want to miss this. If this list opened your eyes a little, good. It's meant to, because when the lights go out and stores go silent, the folks with a well-stocked pantry, they're calm, they're fed, they're ready. Everyone else? They're stuck wishing they had just one more can. These canned foods aren't about comfort. They're about control. Control over hunger, over chaos, over the unknown. Subscribe now because next time we're diving even deeper. More survival secrets, more overlooked essentials, and maybe even a few game-changing foods you've never heard of. And before you go, tell us, what's one canned food that never leaves your prepper shelf? Drop it in the comments, and who knows, your pick might just headline our next video. Stay sharp, stay stocked, stay ready.